It is the next chapter in Apple's story, and here it is.
By now, this half-bitten Apple logo would be recognized everywhere as one of the most valuable companies who shaped the world. Apple is now the only company valued nearly at $1 trillion, surpassing Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. So how did this revolutionary company achieve this historical milestone? It all goes back to 1984, as Steve Jobs introduced to the world his first invention,
now I'd like to show you
the Macintosh, the first mass-market personal computer featuring an integral graphical user interface and mouse. By 2001, he released the first ever iPod, which was the best-selling music player of all time. By 2007, he revolutionized the way we communicate by releasing an internet communicator, mobile phone, and iPod all in one device, which we come to know now as the iPhone. This revolutionary product changed the world of phones and consumer electronics altogether.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Before the launch of the iPhone, Apple had a relatively low share in the smartphone market, and upon its debut, it became an instant hit. Needham & Co. issued a report detailing that by December, it had already nearly 30% of the smartphone market share in the US, superseding its competitors at that time. Some of them include BlackBerry, Symbian, and Windows Mobile. Apple's breakthrough may have been the battle of business models in the market through their tightly integrated ecosystems of both hardware and software. So how is Apple able to keep its company and rise through the ranks in dominating the market? One we know of today is standardization. Standardization is the step-by-step methodology for questioning old assumptions and developing new improvements. It retains one-time improvements in practice until better ideas are found and is a result of continuous improvement which promotes consistency and quality. It can be utilized in multiple facets of a company, varying from production processes to design choices and many more. The specific applications, however, vary from company to company. For example, a technology company could utilize standardization in its coding language by continuously choosing the best language that will appeal to the majority of its coders. Shoe brands such as Nike and Adidas release up to 10 versions of a single shoe in order to consistently improve the quality of the shoe while maintaining the same style over the years. Though it may seem like a challenge to produce multiple variations or colorways of the shoe for the masses, standardized processes will turn this production nightmare into child's play for the manufacturer. A very similar process is implemented by Apple in its gadgets. Standardization allows improvement while maintaining the parts that make the product or process successful in the first place. So how can this apply to Apple? Apple's standardization greatly affects three main factors, namely market, customer, and suppliers. Apple products affected the market such that, first, it allowed for Apple to easily dominate the global market and supplant local technological industries due to its standardized design that allows them to easily mass-produce products. Next, Apple makes use of the same designs with the same price in all regions. This allows them to be able to have a uniform worldwide marketing campaign and have better customer service and product repair. With this, they are able to have control over their current market to ensure their customers continue to come back. And last, Apple releases only a few products a year, which allows them to properly standardize their production methods, given they only produce a limited number of products. The lesser products they produce allows them to have better quality and product control for their gadgets. They also phase out outdated products, so they are able to cut down on production too. Instead, marketing and pushing for customers to purchase a new phone instead. Apple's success also lies heavily with how their products interact with their consumers. Though they have standardized production methods for their gadgets, each one feels unique in the hand of every customer. Standardized personalization is one of the best things that Apple has to offer. They allow customers to feel as if their Apple product was made especially for them and them only. Customers are given a variety of ways to personalize the phone's interface and are given the option to download applications from the App Store, which in turn makes them feel as if their phone is unique in itself. There is still a certain limitation to which personalization can be done. Users may be confined to the bounds set by the software, but these restrictions are what make Apple stand out from the rest of the market. Standardization greatly affects the backbone of Apple, its suppliers. Suppliers are required to meet the highest standards for both goods and services, but most importantly, they must also be committed to the standards of social responsibility of Apple. One example of how Apple applies standardization amongst its suppliers is through the Supplier Diversity Program. This program allows businesses owned by women, veterans, and minorities to register as one of Apple's countless suppliers. Despite this, Apple still ensures proper quality check in order to ensure that all of their suppliers meet their high standards. In order to ensure high quality among suppliers, Apple established a code of conduct. Here are some examples of the codes included. Risk assessment and management. Suppliers shall minimize risks relating to different factors affecting their employees. With that, they should also implement standards to manage and properly assess the risks identified. Second, performance objectives with implementation plans and measures. Suppliers shall have written standards, performance objectives, targets, and implementation plans, including periodic assessments of the performance against those objectives. Third, audits and assessments. Suppliers shall perform periodic evaluations of both its facilities and operations in order to ensure compliance with the code and standards of Apple. Documentation and records. Suppliers shall maintain appropriate documents and records to ensure regulatory compliance. And last, training and communication. Suppliers shall develop and maintain management and worker training programs to facilitate proper implementation of standards and policies. Suppliers shall have an ongoing process to obtain feedback on its practices related to this code and to foster continuous improvement. After a decade since the iPhone debuted, Apple was able to climb the ranks as one of the biggest and most well-known technological companies through the help of standardization. Standardization describes the establishment of rules and procedures governing how members of the organization should accomplish the task given. In order to utilize standardization for any business, the following can be done. First, unify concepts in order to properly lay out what you want to do and how you want to do it. Then, document procedures and processes. Next, retain main improvements while continuously practicing your set standardized procedures. And once room for improvement and innovation is found, adjust standardized processes to create better ones. These steps will ensure that each factor concerning the business illustrates its value of standardization. Always remember that with every development made, the company should still always come back to its mission and see if it's truly striving further to achieve it. This will bring any company one step closer to promoting consistency and quality. Standardization is a great stepping stone to taste the level of success Apple has achieved and beyond.